Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm doing another game review, but this is not my game, or it's not my game review. I'm just reviewing another or other people's games. So this game featured Bobby Fischer and Ojars Celle. It was played in 1964. The name of the game was called the Tour de France. Not really sure why it was called that, but it was called Tour de France. It wasn't played in France, by the way. It was just the name of the game was called Tour de France. It was played in 1964. On this game, Bobby played the Evans Gambit. It was very, it was a very strong game. It was competitive, but it changed in some position, and Bobby was actually dominating, and that's where the game really ended. So let's check it out and see and get to that position where the game actually ended, because it's very impressive. I was very impressed with what I saw. So Bobby in this game first started played with pawn to e4. Then I was responding with pawn to e5, the most common main line, or the most common line. Then Bobby played the knight to f3, the king's knight variation. Then I was responded with knight to c6. Then Bobby played the Italian game, bishop to c4. Then Scheller played bishop to c5, the piano game. I think it's the Giaco piano or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to read that word, but that opening, if you know it. Bobby responded with the advanced gambit, playing pawn to b4. Then the advanced gambit was accepted. Then Bobby played pawn to c3. Ojars played bishop to e7. Then Bobby played the queen's pawn to d4, attacking the pawn on e5. Then Ojars responded by playing the queen's pawn to d6, protecting the pawn on e5, which Bobby accepted the pawn with his pawn because that was the idea of pushing pawn to d4. Ojars accepted with the knight instead of the pawn. Then Bobby accepted with his knight 2 on the e5 square. Then Ojars took the knight with the pawn. Then Bobby played queen to h5, threatening checkmate. Now the checkmate has to protect it. It's either you play knight to h6 or you push the pawn on the g square, in the g7 square, covering the checkmate, which Ojars played g6. Then Bobby took the free pawn. It's a free pawn, of course, with queen to e5. Then Ojars played knight to f6, protecting the rook. Then Bobby played bishop to a3, attacking the bishop in front of the king. The bishop can move, of course, because it's pinned to the king with the queen. Then Ojars played rook to f8. Not really sure why he played that move. It's an inaccurate move. I thought maybe he was going to castle, but I didn't wanna. Even if he castled, it wasn't in danger if he castled because the bishop is protected by the. Or if he castled, you lose the. Now I see the idea. If he castled, you lose the bishop, of course. Yeah, now I see it. So you need to protect the bishop by not moving the king. Hence, he did not castle. But that move is very inaccurate. Let's continue. Will be castled, of course. Then Ojars played knight to g4, attacking the queen. Then the queen moved to g3. Then Ojars accepted the bishop because he was trying to unpin himself since he was attacking the queen. Then Bobby accepted the pawn with the bishop with the knight. That was on the b square. Then Ojars played queen to e7, attacking the knight. Bobby played bishop to b5 with a check. At this position, we're thinking if the bishop is attacked, Then Bobby is losing the piece. But that was his idea of playing that. We'll see why he was playing like that. Then he played the check was covered, then he moved the rook to the knight to c4. In this position, Oyas should have accepted the bishop, but he didn't accept the bishop. He played the queen, moved it to e6, which is a mistake because there's a piece there that's free. Because why wouldn't you take that piece? So I didn't understand why you didn't take that piece why you moved queen to e6. But let's continue. Then Bobby played the brilliant move, rook to a rook to d1. This is a brilliant move. Then now Oyas takes the bishop. Then Bobby played queen to c7, threatening a checkmate. After Bobby played this move, the brilliant move, rook to d1, the game was over. It was Bobby attacking. From this position, he just attacked. At this position, the game was over. Like, it was technically over. After Oyas accepted this bishop, the game was over. He played, let's see. After I played queen to c7, a threatening checkmate. The only way to protect the checkmate is either I play bishop to d7 or you push the queen back. But Oyas opted to play bishop to d7 because now the rook file is actually the file that the rook was taking is actually blocked. Now the checkmate cannot be played. Then Bobby played knight to d6 with a check. Then Oyas moved king to e7. Then he played another brilliant move, knight to f5 with a check. The only way to save this move is to take the knight, of course. Then Oyas take the knight. It's another brilliant move. Then Bobby took back with the pawn. Then Oyas moved rook to rook to c8, attacking the queen. Then Bobby played another brilliant move. I told you this game it was very impressive. The things he was doing was out of this world. He played another brilliant move, rook to d7, taking the bishop. Can only take back with the queen because check. Then Oyas took back with the queen, of course. The answer I said it, from this position the game was over. Bobby played pawn to f6 with a check. Then Oyas accepted back with the knight. Then Bobby played rook to e1 with a check. The only way to cover this move is with the knight. There's no other piece that can cover that file. Then of course the only move is knight to e4, which Bobby accepted the pawn with a check. Then I just played knight king to f6. At this position I was just accepting is that he knew the game was over. Hence I said from that rook move, that first brilliant move, the game was over. Then took the queen, the free queen of course. Then from this position, after playing this rook to f8 to d8, the game was over. After Bobby played queen to e7 with a check, Oyas actually resigned because it's made in 3 moves. The game is over from this position. After I moved king here, played rook to g4 with a check. After move to g5, play rook to g5 with a check. Then the king moves to f1, then checkmate. So that's how the game played out. It was very impressive. I was very astonished with those brilliant moves and how you took the game like that. So that's how the game was played. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna be doing more of these old game reviews or game reviews of the best games of all time. This game is actually included in Bobby's book of I think it's 50 games that he remembers. I'm not sure I think that's the topic of the book or the heading of the book. I think that it is. So again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, like, share. Until we see each other again. Bye bye.